Have you ever wondered why you have reached this level of success in your career, in your business, but you still doubt in your voice? And you're wondering, why is this still happening? Why? And what I want to talk about today is why it's happening and what you can do to move through it. I want to share with you that you're not alone. This is not an isolated issue, not isolated to, maybe because I'm an introvert or I'm quiet or anything like that. Let's break that myth. Because a recent study has shown, and I believe they studied over 40,000 people, and they found that when you get to a certain level of leadership and you're continuing to grow in that leadership, the doubt actually is more heightened. The imposter or feeling like a fraud is more heightened. And let's understand why that might be the case. What they found is the higher you climb, the quieter your voice becomes. And that's not because you have less to say. It's because you've convinced yourself that everyone else already knows what you know, right? Now, I talked about these 40,000 people that were found that the more accomplished you become, the more likely you are to feel like a fraud. And I call this person the capable doubter. And I want to see if you can see yourself in any of this. And for some of us, it plays out very differently. So for a woman, it can be something like you got the promotion and immediately after you start, you're wondering how long are they going to realize that they made a mistake, that I'm a fraud, that I masked my way here. For the men, this could be something like you might be the person that everyone goes to for advice, but you won't speak up in your own meeting until someone else says it first. Other ways that it shows up for women, it could be, and men as well, I think you prepare the presentation like 100 times over, right? And you know the material. You know the material really well, but you still feel like you don't know enough. And what happens is your hand shakes, the nerves start coming up before you even open your mouth. For some men, another way, and again, women, I don't think it's very gender diverse, gender specific, but maybe you've led your team through the hardest quarter ever and the hardest quarter they've had in years, or maybe your business has gone through the toughest moment ever, but you still introduce yourself with a disclaimer. Now, the capable doubter is not new to success. They know what success is. You're not underqualified. You're not missing the skills. But what's happened is you've outpaced your permission to claim them out loud. What has brought you to where you are today, those skill sets, the pushing, the overwork, the overgiving, is not going to take you to where you want to go or become next. I really want that to land for you because it takes another level of leadership with your voice. And the reason you're doubting it is because the stakes are higher. Maybe you witnessed it from others that have used their voice or spoken up or taken up space, and maybe they were put down, exiled, right? Or the other reason is you may not have the skill set yet to step into this next evolution with your voice. Now, if you can relate to any of this, what I'm about to share with you, then what we're discussing today will help you through it and will help you understand it that little bit more. So let's talk about the capable doubter, not doer. You're a doer. That's the thing. You've been a doer. You've been a doer for so long. And now it's time to be a leader. Another level of leadership. But the capable doubter, okay, you have over-prepared. You've over-prepared for rooms that you are qualified to be in. You can speak up for someone with such conviction, but when it comes to speaking up for your own, you contract, you go quiet. You wait to be asked when you already know the answer. Kind of like that school, raise your hand if you know. And another way is you've been told you're ready, but there's some part of you that still doesn't quite believe that. Or maybe your title says that you're a leader, but your inner voice is still asking for permission. Now, if any of those hit close to home, good. I want it. I want it. Because this is the space and place to be, to listen to why this is happening. This is not a fault of you. This is what's been happening in the background. And awareness is the first point to creating the change. As you could be sitting there, why is it happening? Why is it happening? I'm doing all the things. I'm having all these confidence tips, but this is beyond confidence tips. Because no set of confidence tips, no amount of techniques masking it will take you through this next level. So the first reason why this happens is called the success paradox. And nobody tells you this, right? Nobody tells you this, that the more and more you step into leadership, another level of leadership, it doesn't get safer. It actually gets riskier. And the reason that is because more success means more visibility. More visibility means more eyes on you. More eyes on you means more to lose. Can you see that pattern? And along the way, your nervous system starts doing the maths and says, this is unsafe. This is not good for me. And instead of leaning in, you start to contract because that has been wired. It's been wired in. More success means more visibility. More visibility means more eyes on me. More eyes on me means more to lose. Shut down. Doubt. Fear. This is the success paradox. The more capable, the more accomplished you become, the more you have at stake. And the more you have at stake, the smaller you try to make yourself. And that's not weakness. It's not a confidence problem. Because often we mistake that it's a confidence problem. It's actually a risk calculation. A risk calculation that your body is running without you even knowing, without your permission or buy-in. The very success that should be making you louder and more visible is the thing that's quietly teaching you to go quiet. I want that to just sit with that. The very success that should be making you more louder, more visible, more leadership is actually the very thing that is making you and teaching you to go quiet. But you can change that. You can change and go, well, I'm going to play it smaller and just sit there. But there's costs around doing that, and I'm going to take you through that. But I want you to be aware that that's the programming and the pattern that's running. Now, the second reason why you are doubting your voice could be the witness wound. Now, you didn't just learn this on your own. You watched it happen to someone else first. Somewhere along the line, you saw someone using their voice, speaking up, pushing through the fear, taking up space, and you watched what happened next. And in that observation, you identified that that person got shut down. Maybe they were sidelined. Maybe they were quietly excluded from the inner circle. or maybe they were even pushed out altogether. And you didn't need it to happen to you to learn the lesson of silencing and doubting your voice. You just needed to watch it. You just needed to be a witness to it. And you're like, well, if that happened to them, I'm definitely not speaking up or taking space. And so, shut down. And this is what I call the witness wound. The self-doubt was installed not through your own story or failure, but through someone else's. And a leader who was punished for truth and honesty, or a culture where the loudest voice in the room, was the only one listened to, or maybe wasn't even rewarded, or even the quieter one was exited. It was managed out. And from that, whether that's in an organization, the corporate space, or even online where it's there in our face every single day, where people are ridiculed and shamed, and you're like, oh, whoa, if that happened to them, I don't want that to happen to me. And so it's safer to play small. It's safer to continue masking what I need, but that's not going to take you to that next level. See, you don't have to be silenced to learn silence. Sometimes you just need to watch it happen to someone else. Now, the third one, and this one doesn't often get discussed because it's the quieter of the two, and that is the sealing of old skills. Because what happens, the reason this one's the quieter one of the two is because it doesn't come up as fear. It's more confusion, stuck, lost. It's like, I know I'm capable. I know I can do this, but why? Why is my voice doubting? Why do I freeze when I go to speak up? Why do I go blank? All of that stuff, right? Everything that you have worked on for yourself that got you to where you are today worked. Absolutely worked, because you are here in a leadership role. The hustle, the over-delivering, the keeping your head down, the over-giving of the hours, the overtime, the results spoke for themselves. That was the strategy. And it worked until it stopped. Because, and I remember this very clearly, because this is what was reflected back to me when I was striving for my next promotion in leadership. And I really want you to listen to this. Your next level of leadership, the one you may be in right now, or the one that you want to step into more of, is not asking you to work harder. It's asking you to be seen, to be heard, to have a point of view in the room before you've asked for one. Nobody handed you this skill set. It's not something that is taught. You weren't taught how to trust your voice. You were not taught how to see the value of your voice. You are not taught how to bring your ideas out from here and vocalize it to a space of influence or impact. You don't get taught those skills. I remember walking into my manager's office. I knew I was capable because I was the capable doer. I knew I was ready for it, for that promotion. And when I asked her and I said, I want to be considered for this next promotion, I know I'm ready. Mind you, coming in and saying that took so much energy, right? It was what I call performed confidence, where we mask the confidence, right? Like I had rehearsed it over and over and over and over again. I was so afraid to go in there and ask for it. But I was like, no, this next level, I need to be more brave. I need to be more brave. And she responded back to me and said, look, Michelle, I know that you have the knowledge and the capabilities to do this role, but the problem is you don't speak up, you don't contribute, you don't use your voice in the meetings, the boardrooms, and things like in the places that matter, the places of influence, the places where you create that impact. And so this is a ceiling of old skills. So you've reached a ceiling. The gap between the habits that built your career and your business and the capability this next level is asking of you. There is a gap. And the behaviors that got you to the seat that you're in are not the same behaviors that will let you own it and lead it to the next. She was absolutely right. I was not speaking up. I was not vocalizing my ideas and my thoughts. And no matter how much I Googled back then, how do I get more confident in speaking? I was defaulted to public speaking skills, which is everything from the outside, how to remove your ums and ahs so that your message lands with more impact. Body language, how to own the room and stand and all of that, that was still all very external. And if the external does not match the internal, there's an incongruency. And that incongruency is felt. At the end of the day, if there's incongruency, it's performance. That's the difference. And a lot of the communication training out there is about performance, it's about skill set. But the most important thing is you need to find the safety within, the trust within your own ideas, your own voice, and then match that with the skill set. That's when you become a powerful, impactful, and present speaker, leader, and influencer. So if you've been wondering what's wrong with you, why am I doubting my voice? There's nothing wrong with you. You're caught up in this success paradox, the witness wound, or you've hit the ceiling of old skills. And none of that is a character flaw. It's just something that needs to be unlearned. Unlearned the success paradox, unlearn the witness wound, learning the skill set to help get you that next level with your voice and your leadership. I hope you found that give you some more clarity about why it might be happening, right? Now, you might go, I can see the success paradox playing out, or yes, there's a bit of skills. You might be across all three. There's no, oh, I'm this or I'm that, you might be a blend of all three. Because I know in my own journey, I was definitely and am definitely a blend of all three. And it's something that we continue to work on, right? Because remember, with every level of leadership, I believe that there is a new devil to meet, right? There's something new to meet about yourself because you are growing. And what nobody tells you about staying quiet is it doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like safety, but it's not free. It just costs you that you stay the same. You stay where you are. And if that's what you want, that's fine. The only person that's making that wrong is you. But you know that there is more and you're ready to step into that more, right? Then let me talk to you about what it's costing you to continue to stay in this swirl of doubt, in the success paradox, in the witness wound, in the gap of skills. It's costing you the rooms that you don't get into. Whether you want to be considered for the next promotion, or maybe you want to scale your business or create a greater impact. Every time you hold back, there's somewhere a decision gets made without your voice in it. A promotion goes to someone who might be louder or a better communicator, but not better capability-wise. Or maybe a seat at the table gets filled by someone who simply said yes before You finished deciding if you were allowed to, right? And the difference between that level of leadership, the person that said yes, is they felt the success paradox. There've been a witness wound. They know they have skill gap, but they leaned in. They opened into it rather than constricting it. And you don't lose opportunities all at once. You lose them quietly, one held back comment at a time. There are opportunities that have been missed by you that you don't even get to see because you have not even been considered. And that's the reality. The second cost is the talent other people never get. We don't get to experience the highest, best potential of you. Somewhere in your team, your business, your family, there's someone who needed to hear exactly what you know or what you had to say, the thing you've learnt, the perspective only you have, the words that would have changed their entire trajectory. By you staying in doubt is being selfish. Now it's time to be selfless, because when you stay in your head, it doesn't serve anyone. Imagine, think about it, even in your own family. If you held back what you really wanted to express and say, that might have changed someone's mind, their perspective, their view. You have greater impact than you. Our words, our lived experience, our perspectives, our insights, our knowledge can change the effect of someone's outcome in their day, in their career, in their business, in their life. That's not humility. That's a withdrawal from everyone around you that you've made on their behalf without their consent. That's not leadership. And the third cost is the version of you that never shows up. I know you know deep within you there is a version of you that has not been realized yet. But what happens if you continue to stay the same? Then you stay in that fear and in that doubt. You'll never get to meet that version of you. Every day, month, and year that you stay in as the capable doubter is a time you don't get to meet your potential. The leader, the speaker, the version of yourself who is actually ready this whole. And you can't get that time back. You just get a more polished version of you staying smaller. And I speak these words not only to you, but even for me, because staying quiet doesn't protect you. It just makes the cost invisible. Until one day you look up and you realize how much it's already taken. So here's a question I want to leave with you before you switch this off and you go along your way. If staying quiet has a cost, what's the cost of finally using your voice? I bet it's much smaller than you think. A lot of the times we have built it so big in our minds and in our heads. Now, if you recognize yourself in any of this, the success paradox, the witness wound, the ceiling of old skills, I want you to hear this clearly. None of that means that there's something wrong with you. It means that you've never been given the why behind it, the method, the reason, a way through, right? Because now that I've built and helped you build this awareness, that is my wish, you get to choose what to do with it. You could sit in this as information, as new knowledge, which I might add, a capable doubter is really good at absorbing knowledge. Very, very good. Very good. It's applying the knowledge that makes the biggest difference. The capable doubter does not need more confidence advice, does not need more knowledge to binge at. It actually needs to do, to be. And the method that I've used over the years is called the B.R.A.V.E method. It's taken me a while to even pull the pieces of how I have helped leaders go from doubt to confident, to confused to clear, to invisible to influential. And this B.R.A.V.E. method has got 5 key elements. The first one is we've got to break down the fears. And you may have seen I speak a lot about the 4 layers of fear. But we've got to break these down. Judgment, getting it wrong, being too much, not belonging. We need to see where they play out in your mind, your behaviors, your patterns. The other part of my method is about the R in B.R.A.V.E., recalibrating your voice. Your voice was never lost, right? It was just suppressed and silenced. It's just about recalibrating it, taking radical self-responsibility and making a change, right, of how you move forward. And then the A is about activating your influence. This is about aligning your actions and your behaviors to your words. What we say, we do. What we do, we say. We speak our truth always with the lens of compassion and curiosity. The V in B.R.A.V.E. is this is where we voice our power and our presence. This is about bringing the foundations of communications, right? So the B.R.A. is all the internal work, right? And the V and the E is the external work, right? We're voicing. This is about bringing tone. This is about bringing our pace, our listening skills, our connecting skills, right? And then the E is the embodied voice, because this is where it all comes together. We're being the change. And that's the difference. There is a method behind shifting out of doubt to confident, to confused to clear, to moving from invisible to influential. There is a process and a method. But the capable doubter has been proven. They're accomplished, but they're still negotiating for the permission to speak and to lead. Now, your role tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this, is to give yourself permission to be the brave person and leader I know you've got within you. And if you are still unsure how to walk through this, or you would love support along the way, then I want to invite you to email me on the link below, right, where we can get on a call and see if it's a good fit for you and I to explore supporting you in this next evolution of your leadership. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's session. I enjoyed sharing it with you of why you may be doubting your voice, even though you are a leader. Have an amazing day. Bye now.